morning student, myself Millie Sankla, and in today's session our subject structure analysis part 1 we continue with our topic column and strut. Okay, and in today's session we cover our theory portions. Okay, now today we derive the equation of Rankine formula. Here why we derive this Rankine formula? Because Euler's formula is used for long column. Okay, but in building we deal with intermediate column, and this intermediate length of column is failed by buckling also and due to the crushing also. Okay, and for that here we derive derivation of Rankine formula that is applicable for intermediate column. Okay, now relation of this Rankine formula, that means Rankine load 1 by PR is equal to 1 by PC plus 1 by PE. Okay, now what is PC? PC is equal to our crushing load and PE is equal to Euler load, and this Euler load is applicable for a long column. Okay, now one by one, PR is known as our crippling load, or we can say that is our Rankine load. PC crushing load, and equation of this PC is equal to sigma C into A, because stress is equal to load divided by area, and if I make a stress as a subject, then stress is equal to load by divide and load is equal to stress into area. Okay, and what is the equation of this Euler load PE? PE is equal to pi square EI by LE square. LE is equal to our effective length. Clear? Okay, now we go with our derivation. 1 by PR is equal to 1 by PC plus 1 by PE. Okay, here on right hand side I take PC and PE as a LCM. Okay, and 1 by PR left hand side as a constant. Now PC, here PE multiply numerator with PE. Okay, and here multiply PC. Okay, numerator multiply by PC, because ultimate our LCM is PC into PE in denominator. Okay, now 1 by PR is equal to PC plus PE. PC is equal to crushing load and PE is equal to our Euler load, and PC into PE is our LCM. Okay, now convert it, reverse it, PR in numerator. Okay, and this term PC into PE divide by PC plus PE. Okay, simply this is derivation of Euler Rankine load. Okay, now here divide by this numerator and denominator with Euler load. Okay, PC into PE. If I divide by PE, then only PC is left. Okay, now in first term divide by, here divide by PE. Okay, then PC by PE, and this term if I divide this term by PE, then 1 plus PC by PE. Okay, now one by one we put the values here. What is the value of crushing load? That we already explained. Okay, PC is equal to sigma C into A. Sigma C is our crushing stress, area of section. PC is equal to sigma C by sigma C into A, and PE is our Euler load, that is equal to pi square EI by LE square. Clear? Okay, now one by one put the values. PR is equal to PC. PC is equal to sigma C into A. 1 plus PC by PE. PC is equal to sigma C into A, and here PE is equal to pi square EI by LE square. Okay, now sigma C, PR is equal to sigma CA 1 plus sigma CA as it is, and I. Okay, I explain you the term of radius of gyration. Radius of gyration is equal to K is equal to under root I by A. If I make I as a subject, then I is equal to AK square. Okay, here I write I is equal to AK square and divide by this LE square. Okay, here I put value of I in term of radius of gyration, and that is equal to AK square. Okay, now PR is equal to sigma C A 1 plus sigma C LE. Okay, here this term is again reverse into here LE square, and in pi square E A cancel. Okay, A is cancel here, so left term is pi square E K square. Okay, now PR is equal to sigma CA. Okay, and 1 plus, look at this sigma C and pi square E common. This sigma C and pi square E common, and LE by K square. Okay, if you remember what is LE by K? LE by K is nothing but that is our Slandan's ratio lambda. Lambda is the ratio of effective length to radius of gyration. Okay, and PR is equal to sigma C, crushing stress into area 1 plus alpha. Okay, alpha means that is the ratio of this crushing stress to pi square into Young's modulus. Okay, here I write down sigma C divided by pi square E is equal to alpha, and this Le by K square is equal to our lambda square. This is the final equation of Rankine load for intermediate column. PR is equal to sigma C into area, then 1 plus alpha lambda square, where alpha is equal to Rankine constant and lambda is equal to slenderness ratio. Clear? Okay, now next theory. Euler's theory for long column. Okay, Euler theory is applicable for long column. Okay, now next we derive derivation of Euler's formula for different end condition, and here we take a moment. Moment is depend upon sign convention. Okay, if our shape is convex, then I take positive, and if our shape of bending moment after applying load is concave, then I take negative. Okay, if shape like this way convex, then I take positive, remember that, and if shape like is concave, then I take negative. This is the sign convention for bending moment after inducing deflection in column. Okay, now most IMP, column end condition according to its effective length, because this is the first step of solving the example of column and strut. Okay, now both end are hinged. This is the first figure. Look at this. First end is hinged, then second end is hinged. If our column and both end of column are hinged, in that condition effective length LE is equal to L. Okay, L is equal to actual length of column and LE is equal to effective length of column. Okay, and this K is our effective length factor. Okay, K is equal to 1 and LE is equal to L. Now second, one end is fixed and second end is free. Okay, look at this. This is the one end fixed and this second is free. Because of this, second end is free, so column is deflect like this way. In that condition, our LE is equal to 2L. That means effective length of column is 2 times its actual length when one end of column is fixed and other end of column is free. Now the third condition, both end is fixed. Look at this figure. Here top and bottom end both are fixed. In that condition, look at this. Our deflection diagram is dotted portion. Okay, and here our LE is equal to L by 2. That means effective length is half of its actual length. Effective length is half of the actual length, that is 0.5. Okay, and the last one end fixed and other end hinge. Okay, look at this. This is our fixed end and this one is our hinge end. Okay, and load is column is subjected to axial compressive load, and this is our deflection diagram due to our axial compressive load, and we find out effective length from this point to this point. One end of column is fixed and other end of column is hinged. In that condition, LE is equal to L by root 2. Okay, L is equal to our actual length and that is 0.7 L. Okay, this is the different end condition for different end condition with respect to our effective length. Okay, now next. Okay, now we derive our first derivation of Euler's formula for both end of column are hinged. Okay, this is the end condition for column, and according to this end condition we derive Euler's formula. Okay, now here we can see that here I take a figure. The both end of column are here hinged. Okay, sometimes this diagram of hinge support are draw like this way also, and sometimes it is plot like this hinge support also. In both condition we consider as a hinge support. Okay, this is if this dot is given, that means this is our hinge support. Okay, and suppose this diagram is draw that way also. Okay, in both condition this is our hinge support. Now here both end of column are hinged and it is subjected to axial compressive load, and this diagram is our deflected shape. Okay, look at this. Here this diagram is deflected due to axial compressive load. Okay, and from this A point, this is our A point and this one is our B point. From this A point, distance x, deflection of this column is y. Okay, and overall length of this column is equal to L, and this column is subjected to axial compressive load, that is P. Now here we derive Euler's formula for this both end of column is hinge. Now first of all we find out equation of moment, because overall thing is depend upon moment and our differential equation that we use in beam. Okay, here moment equation is equal to this force P, load P into this distance y, and this load P is rotate in anticlockwise direction and this distance is y. So moment is equal to P into y. Clear? Okay, here I take us from A point section x, from A point distance x. Okay, I take this section, and from at this section deflection is equal to y, and this load induced moment, that is P into y, and anticlockwise minus. Okay, now bending moment M is equal to minus P into y. Okay, and M is equal to EI d square y dx square. This derivation is we already study in equation of Macaulay's method, if you remember, in displacement method. Okay, now EI d square y dx square is equal to our equation of moment is equal to minus P into y. Okay, for beam here I take minus M, because sign convention for beam for the this equation is different, and for column section it is different. Column section we take positive M, and for beam we take minus M. Okay, so M is equal to minus P into y. Now this right hand side term is shift left hand side, so positive EI d square by dx square plus P into y is equal to 0. Now next, after solving this term we get differential equation, and this differential equation y is equal to C1 cos x under root P upon EI plus C2 sin x under root P upon EI. Okay, now here C1 and C2 are our constant, and we find out value of this C1 and C2. Value of this C1 and C2 is depend upon boundary condition, and boundary condition is always apply at our support. Okay, here support A is hinge and support B is also hinge. Okay, so first of all we apply boundary condition at A point. At A point is our starting point, so at A point x horizontal distance is 0 and deflection y is also 0, because here A point is subjected to hinge support, and at hinge support our x is equal to 0 and deflection y is equal to also 0. Now we put this value in our in first equation, differential equation, and look at this. Here x is equal to 0 and also y is equal to 0. Now cos 0 is equal to 1, sin 0 is equal to 0, ultimate our constant C1 is equal to 0. Okay, first constant we find out. Now we apply second boundary condition at support B. At support B our length of column is equal to L, x is equal to L, but at that point again our y is equal to 0. Now we apply this value in our differential equation y. Okay, what will happen? Okay, put this value. Y is equal to C1 cos x under root P upon EI plus C2 sin x under root P upon EI. Here value of C1 is equal to 0, that we already find out. X is equal to L, okay, but this term is 0, so overall term is 0. Y is equal to 0, and here C2 sin x, okay, x is equal to L. Now C2 sin L under root P upon EI is equal to 0. Here two possibilities. First one, constant C2 is equal to 0, and second possibility, this term sin L under root P upon EI is equal to 0. But here I take C2 is equal to 0, that means there is no deflection in column section. Okay, if C1, C2 both constant are 0, that means no deflection in column section, no buckling in column, but it's not possible because of our actual compressive load, column is buckled. Okay, so here I take this second term as a 0. Sin L under root P upon EI is equal to 0. Okay, now next sin L under root P upon A is equal to 0. Okay, what is the value of 0 in term of sin? Sin L under root P upon EI, this is left hand side equation. So 0 in term of sin 0 is equal to 0, sin pi is equal to 0. Okay, and here if I cancel sin from left and right side, remaining term is 0, pi, 2 pi. But to prove this equation I can't take 0, because if I take 0 then this ultimate value is 0. So here I take a first value, that is pi. Okay, so L under root P upon EI is equal to pi, and we find out Euler's load. So P make as a subject. For P remove this under root. Okay, P is equal to pi square EI by L square, and this is our final equation for Euler's formula. Both end of column are hinge. Okay, this is the first derivation of Euler's formula for both end of column are hinge. In next session we derive another derivation for another end condition. Just now we stop here. Okay.